All right, I don't know about you guys, but here recently, with how everything's been, hurricanes, rising water levels, I think we should just get rid of water altogether. I think we'd be a lot better without it. No, nobody is on board. A lot of thumbs down. Nobody's on board. Well, I can't say you're wrong. If I walked in and said that in any serious class, you'd be like, Ethan, dude, that's a bit absurd. Nobody's going to want to get rid of water. And you got a good point, because water, the honey of life, what some would say, makes up 70% of the earth. So to go without it would completely ruin our ecosystems, would cause chaos among nations, famines, all kinds of stuff. So it's extremely important to life in general. Now, we're not the exception in that, as we're made of almost 60% water. So what do we do if there's no water? Well, we get what's called dehydrated. And dehydration basically is just the lack of water in our system. Growing up, I grew up in East Texas, and now the humidity there is about 55% on a good day. Now here in North Idaho, you don't really have that. It's a much drier climate. And when you're somewhere that's more humid, your body tends to deplete water faster. And I played football for a long time, so I spent many summers out in the heat. So I know just a little bit of what it's like to feel a little dehydrated, you could say. And I'm sure many of you have felt that way just going on your day-to-day lives. So today, I'm just gonna take a little bit of your time to go over really what dehydration looks like, what it looks like when you are and how you can tell, and then moving forward, some good practices to keep you from being dehydrated and just create a better, healthy lifestyle for you in general. So start off, what does dehydration really even do? Well, in the basis of it, like I already said, it's a lack of water in your system. And we said about 60% of your body is water. And based on the numbers, if that drops by at least around 1.5%, you can start to see the effects of dehydration. Now, Dana Sparks from MayoClinic.org, she goes into a deep detail about dehydration in her article. And she talks about how the whole body really suffers when you become dehydrated. It's not just, you're thirsty, which is, everybody tends to be thirsty even if they're not dehydrated, but you start seeing problems with your organs as well. Water being such a key component, it keeps everything moving. It's a massive part of your bloodstream. It's big in your digestive system. You can't really dissolve things if you have a lack of water. And then going forward, even your brain doesn't really function as well. You have problems cognitive thinking and just operating in general. And going forward, if it's not treated, dehydration can cause serious problems. It can cause, like I said, organ failure, whether that be kidney or digestive. It can cause problems with your brain, which can lead to seizures, comas, and even death. So it's a serious thing that it can really mess you up if you're in the wrong space. So now that we know a little bit more what it is, how can we look for those symptoms in ourselves and be better prepared going forward? Because no one wants to feel bad. No one likes to start off a day and they feel sick and they're going through their day and they're trying to do their normal task and they feel a little under the weather. But the problem with dehydration is a lot of the symptoms are similar to other illnesses. Drowsiness, lack of motivation, you're tired, your head hurts, your stomach hurts, you feel weak just in general. Those are all symptoms of dehydration. And a lot of that will go unnoticed. For instance, when I was a kid, about 13, 14 years old, I had really bad migraines. And we went to the doctor, we got my eyes checked, and they're like, we don't know what's wrong with him. Well, turns out I wasn't drinking enough water. It's a really easy solution to something that seems a lot more complicated than it is. So just be aware of what you're doing. If you're outside and you're doing a lot of physical labor, even if it's cold outside, but you've got a heavy jacket on and you're sweating a bunch, you're probably depleting yourself of your needed water and nutrients. That's what's gonna end up harming you. Physical abnormalities can also happen. The elasticity of your skin will shrink down if you have less water in it. So pulling up on your skin is an easy way to tell. It's a little weird, but it's an easy way to tell if you are dehydrated. Now, most of us want to live the best lives possible. And how do we do that? Well, we eat good, we try to exercise, we try to strengthen our minds. Filling ourselves with the right nutrients is the best way to do that, and water is a key component. Basically, the average human requires about 2 to 3 liters of water per day. Not necessarily water per se, but of liquid to hydrate themselves. And you're like, well, that sounds like a really big number. Well, it can be really easy if you create great habits for yourself. Like I myself right here have a Yeti cup. Many of you probably have that as well. Yetis, this one in particular, is 30 ounces. Now, right now I've got iced tea in it. That's really good. Not even having that. That one's just for me. But it makes it easier if you can take it with you. 30 ounces is a little short of 1 liter. So if you fill it up 3 times a day, there's almost your 3 liters that you can go on and hydrate yourself with. You can also do it through diet. Jill Irvine of the Whole U EDU, which is a website out of the University of Washington, she talks about in her article, your diet can contribute about 20% of your hydration. So whether that be fruits, vegetables, whole foods, things like that can also ease in that and create hydration for you and make it better off for you and build a better, healthier lifestyle for you. Now, if your ears are anything like your tongue, it's probably dried out, you're tired of listening to me, and you're like, all right, dude, we get it, water, that's enough. You're like, okay, well, that's fair. But just in a summary, hydration is very, very crucial to life and its many things. And by understanding dehydration, knowing its symptoms, being able to analyze it, and then creating and preventing healthy lifestyles, we can lead a healthy life. And it's not always easy to keep up with, but if you do it, it's well worth it. Now I'm open to any questions if anybody has any.
How much is a liter? Do you know how much?
How much is a liter?
Exactly.
33 ounces.
Ah.
So Yeti cup, like that one, is 30 ounces, so it's just shy.
So I was like, just shy. How much exactly?
Three and like 3.45 ounces.
Yeah.
So
What's your favorite thing to drink?
iced tea.
Is it sweetened or unsweetened?
Unsweetened.
Ooh, lemon or no lemon?
I didn't have any lemon at the house.
That's so sad.
If you're dehydrated and you drink like a glass of water or something, how soon can you see recovery?
So that's a great question. It typically takes just a bit of time just to circulate throughout your body, but it depends on the amount if you put in. So, just a short, it really guess it depends on how dehydrated you are. In a sense, if you're severely dehydrated, it's probably not going to have, 1 glass of water is probably not going to have much of an effect on you. If you're slightly, it may help and you may see, relief of symptoms soon, but it really all depends on what the severity of it is. And then even if it is super severe, you might not want to just gouge down a bunch of water because if you overhydrate, that can be a problem too, especially if you're dehydrated severely and you influx of a lot of water. It can lead to swelling in the brain as your cells try to force water back up there, and that can cause a lot of problems if you can imagine.
So that's why you have like you can cause seizures and stuff.
Yes.
That's
The seizures come from the dehydration, yes, and the lack of electrolytes in your system and minerals that come from the water.
Is Gatorade actually good for you? Do you know that?
Well, Gatorade has electrolytes in it. It also has a lot of added sugars and things, and those can also, like diet sodas, can dehydrate you more.
Reverse the.
Yeah, it's like if you've ever had a Coke or something, you're like more thirsty than if you had a glass of water.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else? Cool.